Hello everybody, and welcome back to the finale of Major Cliche Plays Masochisia. The topic of domestic abuse should never be taken lightly. If you or someone you know is the victim of domestic abuse, there are people who can help. You can call the Domestic Abuse Hotline anonymously at 1-800-799-7233, or visit their website for more information, thehotline.org. Hopefully we can just continue right on in. Act 6, The Mouth. Albert, I'm not your lawyer. I'm not your priest. These things you speak of, these are dark things. I don't know how to stop. Admitting that you're no longer in control, this is first step. And the first step is always the hardest. Perhaps you have more feelings than you let on. Sometimes I remember I'm human. You are human. Always have been. You're made of the same flesh and blood as I. And these glimpses of humanity make these next questions so challenging. You've done very terrible things. Young Billy, he suffered greatly. But why? What possible pleasure was there to gain in his agony? Why did you make him suffer so greatly? It was the only way I could be saved. The commandments of God, the voice of an angel, the screeching voices in your head, these vicious monsters in your heart, these are not your salvation. They are simply the justification, your justification. They command, you simply obey. An innocent puppet, moving as they tug your strings. For one who craves control, you seem to have so very little of it. How does it feel? The weight is lifted from your shoulders. Your true self can emerge from its shell. This feels wrong. Yes, brother, as it should. What kind of a person would you be if this didn't bother you? But you're bigger than that. You've placed what was required of you above your feelings. You've done as you were told. You've done as you were meant to do. What is required now? Much is required, for much has been given to you. But for this moment, let us return to the messenger. The sacrament was prepared. The blood has been spilled. Another flash on the screen. Hamilton, why? Why do you think we are this way? We did not ask for this calling, yet we are. We're killers, aren't we? Messengers. Messengers. Oh, how we justify. Did you know the pills don't really change us? They don't really hide us. Delightful. The pills are our crutch. They were never anything more. You said I needed them. And we did, for a time. They helped us cope, helped us rationalize. I think we gotta go. Delightful. And then there was the magic needles. You remember them. Are you saying they had no purpose? Nay, they had a purpose. They existed for our pleasure. We use them because we want them. Journey into the mind of a serial killer. Hamilton, never forget, the prescription on our pills is not the essence of who we are. We are who we are. Yep. Full-blown monster. Our child, how you grow. Your feet are firmly planted on the path of our righteousness. But you will not walk this path alone, for we are the mouth, and we will all walk this path with you. The weight of this is too much. Doubt, like a cancer of the mind. It is a sickness. Do not swallow in this pit of self-loathing and despair. You will accept this destiny. For I have already seen the end. You are the mouth, not the eyes. The mouth speaks what the eyes see. Do not doubt what I see. I've witnessed the ending. There is blood and death. So much death. How many will I kill? For a time, you will count. For a time, you will care. So many young faces. So many you begin to forget their eyes. Their taste. Their taste? Your sins will be great. Only the blood of the innocent can cleanse you. And true innocence can only belong to the children of this world. This is our modus. But in time, even their deaths will not satisfy your hunger, your thirst. A sip of the blood, a taste of the flesh. You will partake in this holy communion of blood and flesh. Take, eat, for this is our sacrament. She was always the sweetest kill. She is destiny. grieve at their deaths. But for this we are scorned. Possessions, as they are called. Victims, as they call them. It is true that there is a vast plane between our definitions, but the grief. They do not understand how intricately connected we are. What they cannot understand is that when it comes to our possessions, we do not necessarily want them to die. In truth, sometimes we do, but mostly we do not. We do, however, need them. We need them to be there for us at all times. We need them to endure what we are giving them. Really, in a perfect world, they'd never die. Their existence would simply be to endure what we impart on them. Death is an unfortunate side effect of what we do. For when we lose our possessions, we are grieved, not because we miss them, but because we have no one else when they're gone. This is how the cycle is reborn. For we are but hollow men, built with broken veins. And here we find ourselves, at the end of our sessions. Our journey together has been, perhaps not pleasant. Yes, I am a monster. Are we self-diagnosing now? I'm not here to be your friend. And while I appreciate the honesty you've given me, I know when I've reached a point where continuing is no longer necessary. And we crossed that line some time ago. If you won't help me, then who will? Well, you must understand. There is a certain fascination that comes with our abhorrence of violence. We are disgusted by its appearance in society, yet we can't shake its allure. Fascination seemingly innate in our very genetic code. Secret desires, buried resentment, deep-seated anger, all tinted in dreams of violence. Dreams we, of course, do not speak of. But one can only truly absolve their darkest impulses via exploration. Through this examination of our desires, we begin to understand their place in our existence. You see, violent tendencies may be a festering itch, yet we're all inclined to scratch. So come, let us scratch. Let us see what will flow when the scabs are removed. I don't think I believe you. This is all just a fucking game. You don't control when this ends. I do. I think we're done here. But don't worry. I'll be watching. Yes, I've got my eye on you. Hey guys, so the game just ended abruptly there and went to the desktop screen. And rather than just have everything end there, I figured bring back this up, and I actually have to do something I've never done on any of the videos, which is actually edit one of them now. So yeah, maybe I'll start editing videos at this point, since I'm being forced to for this one. But I just wanted to talk about, like, the game as a whole, my feelings on it, and everything like that, before just leaving the series just ending right there. So if you didn't know, the game's about Albert Fish, who's an actual serial killer. He claims to have killed over 100 children, raped countless numbers of them, ate flesh, where it's one of those, if the devil lived on Earth, it was in this guy. The game did take some liberties with the history of Albert Fish, such as his father died, and all of the abuse that he suffered was done at an orphanage. In real life, his first victim's name was Billy. His last victim's name was Grace. So those are right there within the game. His real name was Hamilton, but everybody at the orphanage used to make fun of him and call him Ham and Eggs. So he started asking everyone to call him Albert. So that's where the whole Hamilton and Albert thing comes from. Really, really messed up guy. This game was a head trip. I remember that the first time I played through it. There are multiple endings, but I don't really want to dive back into the head of this psychopath again to get the other endings, although they are just slight variations of where you try and kill Albert instead of Grace. I think there's one ending where you can shoot the demon, but regardless, it's history. All of this has already happened. The entire game is a flashback, so there's no changing it. I think it's an interesting horror trip for a game. I'm not the biggest fan of the whole fate, you can't change it, because I think that everybody has control over their lives. Some things you can't help because of outside influences, but for the most part, you're not fated to become a sadistic murderer of children or anything like that. The music in this game, I really love it. I think it really helps set the mood. It's very haunting. Graphically, I think it's beautiful. I'm very interested to see what else these developers do in the future. I don't know what other games they have out, but I mean, the art style, the music, everything in it, I really, really liked. I just hope it's not so based in reality, because it's one thing when horror games are based on, you know, things like in Amnesia or Five Nights at Freddy's, where it's some crazy sort of supernatural thing, or it's the creation of your own killer, such as we had with the cat lady. But when it's about someone as vile and disgusting as Albert Fish, it really does make my skin crawl that evil like that does exist in the world. So as I don't even know if I can say that this game's really enjoyable. Like, I like horror games, I like messed up things. That's just always been my style with, like, movies and things like that. But then if you go on to Albert Fish's Wikipedia page and you start reading through everything, such as, like, the letter that he sent to Grace's parents, and his mother, and Grace's mother was illiterate, so she had to have one of her sons read the letter talking about how he, you know, carved her up and ate her, and all that stuff. It's one of those, like, truly evil, disgusting things, but I mean, it does exist in the world, and I'm kind of rambling right now because people like Albert Fish are like the scariest thing in the world. But as always, you know, to get help. If anything that was like happening to the Hamilton Albert character, there's any sort of abuse going on, please contact someone, get some help. because it's not right. It's horrible, and there are people who want to help you, but you have to reach out to them. So that's going to do it for Masochisia. And, yeah, we'll probably, I think the next game that's going to be going in this sort of spot on the channel, we'll probably do another short one like The Park. At this point, Dreamfall, The Longest Journey, should be going on in the other time that we upload videos during the day. But yeah, guys, if you have suggestions for games you want to see me play or anything like that, leave them in the comments down below. As always, leave a like if you like this series, if you like the video, and I'll see you guys in the next episode, or in the next series.